have one thing to say. Where the am I?
Spill. Don't you know?
I guess I'm gonna be spilled on today. I don't know if I'm in the bar, my final destination. What's up? You got knives and citrus out here for me?
Yes.
You about to eat me, huh?
Uh-huh. Eat you all up.
Hannibal Lecter, honey. Now, from what I hear, you are a bartender, correct?
I have dabbled in the art of bartendery.
Dabbled. Ooh.
Do you hear that fizz?
There was a release there. This looks correct. This looks familiar. Oh, look at that.
Da, 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 da.
Wow, okay, maybe I will survive this. I don't think I'm gonna get killed
Well, you
by
haven't even
yet.
tasted it yet. Let's see what it's giving.
Actually, that's really good.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's not like too sweet and it tastes kind of healthy. I might have gained like 1 year from this cocktail. one year of health.
Well, cheers.
Cheers, my love.
To you. Now, cheers, baby.
Yes.
Welcome to Spill.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to spill with you.
Well, I want to start off by, saying congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, on being one iconic, amazing, beautiful, trailblazing. America got to know you on season 14 of Drag Race.
They did.
But that's not where your drag career started. It started before that. So, paint the picture. Give me a little Golden Girls picture it. Sicily, 1990, whatever.
Oh, 1990? Wow. Oh my God. I'm getting crucified already. Jesus Lord.
Paint the picture. What was it like when you first started drag versus when you got onto Drag Race?
Oh my God. They're complete polar opposites. I mean, it all began in Dallas, Texas, when a cross-dresser decided to put on a wig. It all started with exploring and finding my identity in a way.
Yeah.
I think I was so freshly out of an oppressive situation that I was just breaking free and rebelling and doing everything I was told not to do because I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so the most forbidden thing was put on a wig, go get your little dress, try to put on some makeup and go out for Halloween.
Yeah. Yes.
It always starts with the Halloween.
Halloween is a launch pad, isn't it?
It is for all kinds of just But really, I think the biggest difference between then and now and getting on Drag Race was I started to ask myself why. Why I do things. Why am I doing this? Why am I wanting to do this? I was able to be cast on my second audition, but it came after starting the pandemic, and that was when a whole different life happened for me. That's when I started my transition and really, like I said, got back into why, literally WHY for everything. And when I broke all that down and came back to myself, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna do the Drag Race mission and journey, but now I feel like I know who I am, and I was very lucky and blessed to be able to share that.
And on Drag Race, it's such a special place where the girls go and they make this sisterhood that's undeniable.
Yeah.
Do you have two good Judys, or who's your biggest Judy that you're if I fell down the stairs, I would call them before Life Alert? Or maybe after Life Alert, after I get picked.
I mean, to be honest, I love them all, but I feel like all of them would kick me down the stairs depending on what the context is. You know what? It's really hard to say that I have a more fond relationship with one person over the other.
Come on, Sophie's Choice.
No, honestly, but it's just everyone's so unique. I will say I have my daughters.
Yeah.
I connected with them in a very strange mother way, which is Jasmine and Georges. I saw so much of myself in them. I see all their potential. I see all their nerves. I see their anxieties. I see their need to be worked and to be perfected. So I feel like I have a very unique relationship with them. But I feel like I love everybody pretty equally. But if it's a staircase and I'm on it, I'm probably getting kicked by the whole cast.
They're this beautiful bitch.
They're yeah.
I know the Drag Race fandom can be pretty wild. Who has the most toxic fan base?
Ooh. I have to think. I would say that she's turned it around, but Daya, they were really hard on her, Miss
her
Diabetica.
neck.
She is a bitch, but like they were like trying to be like, you're a bitch, die. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Well, it's
Back
interesting
up.
because the fans are kind of worse.
Yes.
At coming for people's throats than she was on the show.
Right.
I'm like, how dare you? I'm like, baby.
Well, also, like, that's the one thing everyone begs and pleads for is like, we need a bitch, we need a bitch. And I was way too scared to be that one, so.
Are you saying you low-key are?
I can be.
Ooh.
I'm very potential of, but I always made it sure that I did not pick the bitchy role. And I think that she just kind of like, didn't have the training to avoid it, so she just went in it. she hadn't been trauma trained quite the same, so she just went for it. But I was like, they're really eating her alive, but she's giving them what they've asked for. You know, a lot of people want a Gia Gunn 2.0.
Oh my gosh. What you want to do is not necessarily
what you gonna do. I mean, she was a fun character.
But it's so good because she just doesn't care.
She's the Christine Quinn of Drag Race.
Oh my God, that is a great reference.
Completely.
I did want to ask you though, because being on social media and seeing things.
Oop.
I did see a cheeky little video of you and Alyssa Hunter making out. What was that? What was that giving? What was that about?
It was a full moon. That's all. It really was. I don't even remember. Oh, and it was the end of DragCon. So a full moon and delusion always leads up to something cheeky, and I feel like plus alcohol. All those above, it's bound to happen. I feel like I like handsome people. I don't care if you put a wig and makeup on. I mean, whatever. Like, as long as you look good in the moment, I was like, okay, bitch.
As long as you look good in the moment.
As long as you look good in the moment, I was like, okay, like, you better come up in here and just, lay it on me real quick. And it's like, there's a whole thing to be said about, like, when someone feels the vibe and they just kind of take initiative versus, like, me having to, like, be like, oh my God, I could use a kiss.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cringe. Yeah. So I was like, bitch, if you gonna take it, hello. Jesus, take the whole wheel, honey.
Speaking of Jesus taking the wheel, I'm legally obligated to ask you, are you single? Are you dating?
I feel like I'm always single until my tax filing status changes to married, and that will never change.
Okay, so until
completely.
Yes, until it's on the documents.
Yeah, there ain't no such thing. And I mean, in terms of like entertaining, I always entertain whoever is suitable at the moment. But
I love the idea of I entertain. Suitors if they're suitable. If they're
suitable, yeah. I mean, and is there a limit on how many? No.
What would you say is like your type on paper?
I mean, there's a few things. I have daddy issues, so I like, don't we all?
Yeah, we do.
So even though I am a stallion, I like to feel kind of small.
Yeah.
So I like a big man physically. Ethnic-wise, I like all colors of the spectrum. My theory is, and that's probably why I'm not the best at like committing to one thing, is I like a little like selection, like a wardrobe, from like white and pink all the way down to like dark and dismal and just chocolate, honey. I like a little bit of everything because it's like, oh yes, I'm feeling very caramel today. I'm feeling peaches and cream today. Well, that's not a normal mood for me, but peaches and cream, it's a holiday, Easter, something,
A flavor for every season.
Every season.
Talking about the daughterness of it all, this was a really iconic season for trans representation specifically.
It was a doll season.
Yes, I remember there was that meme that you put up that was like the infinity rings and you had to get them all. What did that feel like, to feel like you were people's safe space to open up and to be their authentic self? For me, it's like you showing up in the world as authentic and as beautiful and as, in your own spirit as you are, gives other people permission to say that what she has is what I want.
Oh, thank
you.
And
how does that make, do you ever think about that?
There are times that I reflect on it. I think humility's been a very strong thing and a very strong core of me since my beginning. Because before all this, what you see, there was a lot of other things that I had to work through and overcome. So when I look back, my perspective isn't like, bitch, I'm so sickening. Like, people loved me, of course they did. Like, in my fantasy, yes, I would love for it to be that, but a lot of times I'm like, I can't even believe that this is even happening, because like, Chad, if you would have told me this when I was 11, 12, 13 and probably finding those authentic characteristics of myself, I would have never assumed that anyone would even have wanted me like in a same space with them and much less enjoyed it. So it is validating because it's like, okay, like it wasn't easy, but it was amazing.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting because a lot of times when you're a beautiful trans woman, people are like, oh, she's so gorgeous, must be so easy for her, da da da. But you've been very open about your rhinoplasty and like, you know, very transparent, whereas a lot of people, they don't understand the work that goes into becoming who you want to be.
Absolutely.
No matter what that means for every individual person. But why do you feel like it's important to you to be like, no, baby, this is what our journey is giving?
I'm gonna take a sip because child.
Yeah.
There have been many times where I've like sat at a fork and been like, do I want to be authentic or do I want to be the fantasy type vibe? To like, be like, oh yeah, I just woke up like this, it's easy.
Yeah.
There's a funness to that, but the thing is, I feel like there's like an underlying resentment within me, not at anyone in specific, but in the process of doing things, so many things, from growing up to getting a job, to fixing my credit, to transitioning, that I've seen other people do these things and they made it look like it was this, it was that, it was a 1-2 ha. And I was like, oh, lovely, you know, maybe that's what it is. And then you start to go through it and you're like, this ain't what it's giving at all. What the hell kind of scam did I get set up for? Like, it's almost like you want to go swimming and they tell you to go and start in the ocean without a life vest. And you're like, okay, yeah, like seems easy. You get in, you start falling underwater. You're like, this ain't what I thought it gave.
Right.
And so I think for me, authenticity, that's the one thing you have throughout your life. And we only get one life. And I always make that decision that I could kind of hold my own like personal bank of memories, but I'm like, also, what does that do? That's not gonna help anyone. It only really makes a difference or makes any sense if you share that, because God forbid I don't, and nobody else does, and then other people get there, and then they're like, well, why is it that I'm not having the same experience that they are? And that can be very disillusioning. So I think that there should be no shame built into achieving your best self. And I think especially in the trans genre of people, you know, we are literally transforming our entire self from the inside out. So, I mean, I always say I do have insecurities, but I also worked hard enough to have the money to fix them.
Cheers to that.
Unapologetic living, honey.